Is it robots or Barbie arms?
Barbie arms.
Barbie arms.
Robots. And 8 more. 8 more.
8 more what?
8 more back tabs.
Back tabs. Back tabs. 8 more everything.
8 more. You're live.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Wow.
Can you believe it? April 10th. I'm just like in awe right now that we are Sunday, April 10th. It is a beautiful sunny day, and you all know me. I'm Jean-Luc.
I'm Nick.
And we just got back from Windsor.
Yeah.
We were in Windsor visiting my mom for the weekend.
Bellies full.
Yes, we ate.
See?
Mom. And you know what? We let her cook because she enjoys doing it.
Yeah.
And
it's
it was
delicious.
actually, you know what? This is the first time in a long time that we did not bring an extreme amount of leftovers back with us.
No, we were actually able to. The meals were really self-contained.
Yeah, we everything we finished.
Now we ate a lot of those
we
meals.
did eat a lot, but you know what? That's a whole other story. But now at least we're not bringing a lot of it back, mind you, which is normally what our problem is. So, but. Still had a great time. It was nice to see my mom. I got to see my dad as well. Dad was doing really good. It was a great visit with him. He was laughing and joking. He was not sleeping in his room, mind you. They had to go find him another room, which was happens. And it does happen, right? Because he lives in a nursing home. He does have a dementia. So, but he came back in and, you know, we talked to him for a bit and we had a good time with him. And he remembered me, which was nice. He remembered Nick. He's like,
I wasn't there.
Where's your boyfriend? And I'm like, oh, he's at home right now, Dad. But I was so happy.
I was actually talking to my mom for 2.5 hours,
2.5
on
hours,
FaceTime. So it was a long chat. I was like, they got back. I was like, you guys are back already? No, we've been gone 2 hours. 2 hours, Mom.
I bet you in those 2 hours, though, they said goodbye 25 times.
Actually, we didn't say goodbye once.
Oh, maybe that's me that influences the goodbye. Oh, I try to hang up on your mom too often. Oops. I guess that I let the cat out of the bag. Sorry, Mom. I love you.
So tonight we have a special guest for you guys. So we'll introduce how we met Susan, and then we'll have her introduce herself after. But we want to kind of introduce the story of how we met her. You want to go ahead?
No, go for it.
Okay, so when the pandemic hit, WWE workshops started going virtual. We were traveling over the world, actually, visiting virtual workshops everywhere. And we bumped into Susan's workshop thanks to one of our friends, Alice,
who is here tonight in Zoom.
Yeah, and we met her on a WWE cruise, and we just showed up, and it was like amazing. She was an amazing she was an amazing
person, amazing coach.
Yeah.
And she made us feel like we've known her for years.
Yeah.
You know, when you meet those people where you'd first sit down in a room or you're at a party, right? You're at a social gathering and you meet this person and you just get this, oh, wow, I know you and I are going to sit here and talk the entire night. And no, people are going to try to interrupt our conversation, but it's not going to happen because we're so in sync. And that's exactly how it felt with when we met you, like the very first time in the workshop.
Same way. I felt
and every other time we went back to visiting our workshops because she asked us to return so many times. It was just like going home. Like it felt really like such a homey type comfortable place. So I just want to commend you on being such a great workshop coordinator and having that skill, because it's not an easy thing to do with a bunch of people in a room. So like kudos to you. So enough about us knowing about Sue. Let's get to know Sue herself since she's here.
Susan, tell us a bit about yourself. Where are you from? What's your give us your elevator pitch. What is Susan?
Who is Susan?
Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for having me. It's definitely an honor to be here, and I really appreciate it. That's my husband walking by. Just There's Jerry.
It's not a green screen. I get it.
I know. This is the love of my life. Just walk by. So originally I am from Southern California, and you guys, you're muted. Jean-Luc and Nick, you're muted.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So what happened was I started WW, or in the day, Weight Watchers, in the 70s.
Wow.
And, yeah, very early on. The story is, so long ago, but I was in college. I was born and raised in Southern California. I don't look like I'm from Southern California. And I mean, when I would visit relatives in the East Coast, they go, "You're not from Southern California. You don't look like you're from there." And so the bottom line was I wanted to fit into some skinny jeans. Remember those days? We all want to fit in those skinny jeans. And I joined Weight Watchers at the time where it was in a church basement.
Yeah.
Basement. And in those days, it was you had to eat liver.
Oh,
you had to, once a week. You had to make your tuna with mustard.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I know you hate that. The only way you could eat anything sweet was by making Jello with gelatin packages, the gelatin. It was the the sugar-free Shasta sodas. Remember those? That's
we don't.
Oh, you're not old enough. In those days,
sorry.
I know that was Weight Watchers.
Wow.
So I didn't do so well at that time, and then I went back again. And how many of you know what I'm talking about? I went back again.
Frequent flyer.
Yeah.
Frequent flyer. Yeah, we're all frequent flyers. We've all done that.
I eventually did it, and I became a lifetime. I lost in those days it was about 46.5 pounds.
Wow.
And I became in those days they call them lecturers.
Oh.
And I used to do 11 classes a week in Southern California. And we had to carry a big before picture of ourselves in all the meetings.
Oh, wow.
And show that before picture of ourselves. And I loved doing it. It was the best time of my life. I absolutely loved it. And then I got married to my husband, first one. And
okay, that's what I was going to clarify. You did say was been the number one, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And he's no longer one. But then we moved up to the Northern California Bay Area, and I didn't go back to work for them because it was California and it was corporate. But needless to say, I didn't do it, and I was in the Bay Area, having to experience all the fabulous foods and restaurants, and became a frequent flyer. And I'm telling you, as a lifetime member, for those of you who have lost and gained we've all done this, right?
Yeah.
How many diets, how many programs? I mean, we've all done this. And it finally just got to the point where skinny jeans didn't matter anymore. It was my health.
Yeah.
Right? It was the health. And so I became a coach again. And I think the reason I do this, you guys, or did that at the time, was for the accountability.
Right.
That's why it's so cool what you guys are doing, because it's all about the accountability. That's why everyone who loses, if you're with Weight Watchers and you join the team, it's because of that. And you want to give back, right? So I left again because now this is, I live in an RV. This is my home. It's 500 square feet. My husband and I last year retired, and during the pandemic, I said to him, why are we here? I have wanted to do this lifestyle for years, my entire life. And I said, if not now, when? So we sold everything.
Wow.
Everything.
We have nothing other than what's in this RV right now.
Wow.
We don't have a storage unit. This is it. And we hit the road June 30th. My poor husband, he retired June 15th, and we hit the road to go buy our RV and truck and all that on June 18th. The man had 3 days. 3 days.
His new job started.
Yeah, the new job. He calls it Driving Miss Susan.
Is there going to be a movie?
There is. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
You're right.
So, now the challenge is being in new places and wanting to try foods from all the different states.
Yeah.
And I need accountability because it's so important for me to stay focused. Yes, we're in a new city, we're in a new state. We want to have fun, we want to experience great foods, but come on, this is not a vacation. This is our life, and it's all up here.
And I love what you just said there, Susan, actually, because it's so funny, because a lot of times people associate trailers and campers and going to the camp or going to the trailer. Well, you can't, I guess you can't use that term anymore in a sense, because we're going home. This is my house. This is not the weekend getaway anymore. This is where I currently live. And so has that made has there been a change of words that you had to adjust to?
Well, sure, because that's a good question, because here's the thing. When people ask me where I'm from, it's really, they want to know what state you live in, right? When you ask that question, where are you from? Well, I say we live in our RV. Okay, but where do you live in your RV? I said, well, right now where I am, right now we're in Maryland. We're right outside of DC. And then they said, no, but where are you from? I said, okay, if you're asking me where I was born and raised in California. I said, but I don't live there anymore. I don't live anywhere but where my house on wheels takes me.
That's crazy.
And that's the difference. And so when people say, well, how do you handle food and all that? Well, if you saw my kitchen in my RV is bigger than some people's apartments' kitchens.
Oh, wow.
You guys, first of all, this is a condo on wheels.
Yes, I was going to say, I can see the fireplace behind you. It looks very pretty. It's not just your regular fireplace. I think there's crystal rocks in it. Yeah, I was like, there's a tip out on this RV, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it has 5 slide outs. It's 42 feet long.
Wow.
It's our home. And my kitchen has an island. It has a residential refrigerator, convection oven, the whole bit.
It's hard for us. That would be like, it's funny because it's probably something we would
love that in a sense. We'd love a moving condo because you get the luxury that you want in a house.
And we've already done the whole
purge. You get the campfire outside if you want to sit by the fire.
When we moved from our house to here, we purged 3/4 of what we owned already to move here. And it's like, maybe at some point it's like, you know what, why do we need all this? Just go on the road, drive through Canada and the United States.
Well, think about this, you guys, what you do, seriously, and what you're building. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, there is discussions, like there's chats about it. Yeah, there is.
So there's actually a really good question right now in chat that I wanted to ask you, Susan, and it's really good. It's from Patricia, and it says, how do you guys decide where to go? Like, how's this map? Did you guys have a map planned out of something?
Before you answer, the word of the water word of the day is community. Sorry, everybody. Might have said it 5 times already. Community, 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 community. Take a sip.
Thank you, because we need our water.
Exactly.
That's a really good question. So when we first started this adventure in June, I knew that I wanted to be in New England for the fall of this year. Okay. So how we decide where we're going is really who we're visiting, right? We might be visiting people, or where we're going to winter. We actually wintered in Arizona, because you can't, seriously, we got stuck last week in West Virginia, 10 degrees.
Wow.
You know snow.
Oh yeah, trust us.
I don't know snow.
This is Susan. Right?
We live in a tin can.
Yeah.
So that was challenging. And so how we decide is where we want to visit. My husband's never been to Washington. That's why we're here. We're in Washington, D.C. The thing that's different about us than most RVers is that we stay somewhere for a long length of time.
And I was going to ask that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're here for a month. We're here until May.
Okay.
And the reason we do that is, first of all, you all know the fuel situation.
Yes.
Right. So that was a big deal. But also, the driving is a lot of towing and gas and all that. We want to stay somewhere and really get to know the culture and get to meet people. And so we try to stay somewhere no less than 2 weeks for sure.
And again, this is me because I know camping. I hate to call it camping because it's not, but in a sense, you are going into campgrounds and campsites, right? So your regular KOA type.
That's so what we would love to do.
And it's funny because those are communities in themselves. Like,
it's glamping every night at a different place. We love cruise ships.
We love cruise ships and getting to know different people.
Places and different people.
So how many places have you been right now? Out of curiosity.
Oh my gosh. we've been into, well, I'll quickly go through it. We've been in Oregon, we've been in Idaho, we've been in Montana, we've been in Albuquerque, New Mexico, we've been in Texas. We have been, and how I count this is by where we sleep in the RV.
Okay.
We might have got, like yesterday we were in Pennsylvania, but we did not sleep there.
So you drove through Pennsylvania. Okay.
Right. So, because we went to Gettysburg yesterday. We've been to now Maryland and Ohio and West Virginia and Illinois.
Wow.
So now bringing in our community word.
Yes.
Have you created mini communities with people that you've met throughout these stays?
You guys, this has been such an amazing adventure. We have met friends for life. There is no doubt about it. And I will tell you, the RV community, and for those of you who don't understand this lifestyle, we, being full-time, someone asked about how do we get our mail, and we belong to an RV club that helped us domicile out of California into South Dakota. Now, people go, what the heck, South Dakota? So the reason we chose South Dakota, first of all, is because it's in the middle of the country. Second of all, is because they do not have state income tax, and that's good for a retiree.
Yeah.
And everything else is so much less expensive. The registration for the truck and the RV, medical and dental, it's all so much less expensive.
So you have a physical address
on paper.
in South
You're
Dakota.
from South Dakota on paper.
But I've never lived there.
I love it.
And I don't plan on it either. So this company, what they do is we have a physical address there, and then we have a mailing address in Texas, and we get our mail from this company. It's a club called the Escapees RV Club. And wherever I'm at that accepts mail or whatever, I call them and they send me my mail. And of course, as an RVer, you really have to honestly do everything online.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you do, but there's still things that you're going to get mail, such as, replacement credit cards, or let's get real, your tax stuff, and
Taxes.
It's just your registration of your vehicle. For example, we had to wait to get our license plates that were mailed to us, right? So that is a challenge, but it's not that big of a deal when you have everything online.
Right.
So when we domiciled in South Dakota, we had to physically go to South Dakota and get our actual license.
Your driver's license had to be from there. Okay.
So we are now officially South Dakotans.
And it's part of the sleeping plan. You slept there, so it's part of the trip.
Exactly. We only have to spend 24 hours there, and that's how we are. So
now I'm not no disrespect to any South Dakotans.
No, there was winter. Thank God it was June when we went, because we're going back to South Dakota because we didn't get a chance to stay there.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have our RV at the time. We had to get our license.
Okay.
Yeah. So we want to go back there because it's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
And I kind of love this because if you're a person, like, this would be great for us, because if you're someone who does not like winter, you never have to experience it.
And I hate winter.
Or you can for a week.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, here's the thing. Our whole goal, we haven't achieved it yet, but we will. Our whole goal is to follow 70 degrees.
Oh.
That's the goal, because when your house is on wheels, you can do that. For example, we were supposed to stay a few nights in West Virginia. It was 10 degrees. We had no water. It was frozen. We said bye, and we just took off. And that's the other thing that happens too, is when we went to, you guys, when we left last summer, we had heat wave after heat wave after. We were in Oregon. It was 106 degrees in Oregon.
Wow.
That never happened. So we, that's the cool thing about being on wheels, is saying, you know what, we don't want to be here anymore. We're not comfortable. We don't like it. We just take off. So that's the goal, is finding. So this year, from June until June, right, is to figure out where we want to winter and where we want to summer. And that's what we're doing. We're finding the places and experiencing. We're going to be wintering this winter. December 1st, we will be in St. Augustine, Florida for 3 months.
Oh, fun.
And we will be in New England from June 19th all the way until October 3rd.
So that's cool. That's really cool. And so you're just basically, you drive, you park there for a few months, and then you go somewhere else for a few months. We could definitely do that.
Yeah, definitely.
And the fact that we can be 6 months in the US, so we can drive through the southern states,
definitely,
and then come back to Canada in the summer. And it's, you know what I mean?
We're
Like,
heading your way, by the way, next year, because we're going to Alaska.
Oh,
We'll be heading into Canada if the fuel prices come
yeah,
down.
definitely. I totally agree with that.
That's a far drive.
And thank you, Charlotte, for mentioning. Michelle had asked, "Is it hard to get through the borders?" But because they are in the U.S., there are no borders crossing the states from state to state. So thanks for answering that question for her.
And when we come to Canada, we are. We have all our docs. We're ready to go to Canada. So
are there places that you guys have said, no, we're not visiting at all, or we're not going to, or is it just kind of like,
you know what? That's I don't want to insult anyone in their state. No.
And I don't mean it because you don't want to, because you said you were chasing the 70 weather. So of course, not everywhere is going to be 70. So there are certain places that you'll go back to more than, but
eventually. My whole goal is, both Jerry and I are in agreement with this. Eventually, we want to find a home base. Okay, but not to buy a home, but just a home base to park the RV. Because, when you've gone down, like you guys did what we did too. We had a big house, we went to a smaller house, and then we went to this. Okay, if we can and still like each other, and we still like each other. There you go.
So far, so good.
Guys, we could stay in this but find a place to either winter or summer. So my goal is, most likely, I love New England. So hopefully we'll stay spring, summer, fall in New England someday, and winter probably back in the West Coast, right? Not be back in California, unfortunately, because even though I was born and raised there, the cost of living is just too much. Our family's there, so that means that we will be on the West Coast to be able to go see them, right?
But what I love about this too, it doesn't stop you. If you have a place in your RV's parked, it's in a safe environment, you can always jump on a plane and fly somewhere if you really need to go somewhere quickly, or if you want to spend a quick weekend away. So I love this, and it's the whole nomad life, but it's a nomad in luxury.
We've realized that for us, as long as we're in an area that things are comfortable, we've realized is that the reason we had the house, one of the reasons was to entertain people, and we like having parties. Then we came to here. Now we entertain online. We'd still do this kind of thing. We have a party room. So if we want to have a party, we can still do that. If we have an RV, we can just rent a field somewhere and just have people come see. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you can always make a party wherever you go.
And there's always new people.
Let me tell you something. Here's the thing. This RV park we're in right now is called Cherry Hill RV Park in Maryland. And it is right outside of DC. This park is so large. They have ballrooms, they have event centers. I mean, you guys, honestly, if you think about this for down the road with what you are moving towards and for your life, you need to take your show on the road. You really do. And you will, it would be like setting up a tent, and, right? And having an amazing adventure everywhere you go, and write the whole damn thing off. So there you go. That's a good thing.
And it's a business expense in a sense too. Yeah. I kind of want to bring back this whole idea. Like, I know once you decided to bring go on the road and make this decision of selling all your property and everything you own and finding your mobile home. And I love that. How did you decide? How was the next step as far as keeping your community and the WW? Because I know you do something weekly still, and I'd love for you to talk about that.
Okay, so my whole thing was when I was going to let WW know that I would do my Zoom meetings on the road. I have to tell you, when this all started, I thought, oh my God, this is going to be the perfect life. I could work on the road. It got to the point where we bought the most expensive Wi-Fi system. We have our own Wi-Fi, the whole bit, because I was planning on working on the road, okay, and doing at least officially, a few of my meetings that were left on Zoom. What came to be, though, was I realized that I could be traveling one day that my meeting was supposed to be happening, or I might not have Wi-Fi, the meeting that day, right?
Yeah.
So I had to make a very difficult decision and resign from WW. And it was a tough one for me because, let's get real, for those of you, it It wasn't for the money. It was not for the money.
You weren't making millions?
Not even, yeah. So but I loved it so much. And I knew that I was going to miss everybody, because honestly, even though this lifestyle is so exciting, you meet new people, you miss your community.
I was going to say, she basically said community without saying it. People drink some water.
You miss your community. And you miss the people that you love and care about. And it can be lonely. It actually, honest to God, can be kind of lonely until you have a bunch of friends that you meet up with, right?
Right.
So when I decided to do this, I knew that I would have a lot of members that would be very upset with me. And because I had told them I was going to work from the road. So I made a very big decision, and I talked to Jerry about it and said, look, I don't want to not do something. I said, for selfish reasons, of course, it was my accountability. I need to keep my weight down. I mean, it's important to me. It's one of the most important things is to be healthy. I mean, it is the most important thing to me, because like everyone else, I have family history of stuff, right? So I said, look, all right, how would you feel if I did a meeting every week, and maybe more than one, but every week at different times? Because if I'm traveling one day and I can't get in front of my computer, because if you look behind me, this is my living room, right? I'm sitting at my desk right now. I have a desk in here with a big monitor and the whole bit. I said, let me do something on my terms, meaning one day it might be Thursday, one day it might be Tuesday, whatever it is, when I can, and whoever shows up will show up. And I need it for me, because I need to see people. I need to still be engaged. I need my community. Oops, drink. I need.
Oh, darn it. We have to take more water.
We have to take another drink. I need to know I can still connect with the people that I care about. And I still need to be able to have that passion to give back to what I've been doing, right?
And I love that. And I love the fact that you knew it was not just for you, but at the same time, it was allowing these people who have been with you for the last 2 years still be part of that community. Because this virtual world that was created due to COVID has created, I hate to use the word monster, but it's not really a monster, but has created this spider web. And I've said that before. This has been a spider web where so many people are now speaking to each other who never would have spoken before if it wasn't.
Not at all.
And if it wasn't for this sick,
You're absolutely correct. And you know what? Yes, anyone can join my Zoom meetings. All I need is your email address, because I do not get paid for this. It is not a WW event. It is my own personal Zoom meeting.
That's how amazing she is.
That's how amazing Susan is.
And it was so cool when Jean-Luc and Nick came on one day and surprised the hell out of me. It was so much fun. I hadn't seen them because of all the changes and all that kind of stuff. So anyone can. And you, again, it's not, I need to really make sure I'm really clear about this. I do WW because it's what works for me and has my entire life. I'm very anxious of what you guys are doing, though, because I do want to talk to you. I do. But it's what works for me now. Right?
Yeah.
And the bottom line is, it's not a WW meeting. You guys were on there. It's not a WW meeting. It's about health and wellness. And I welcome anyone.
And I love that, Susan, because that's what we've morphed ourselves into. We welcome everyone, because we are not doing WW right now. Yep. Everyone else is on our group, and we love that because you need to support each other on that program. But we're also saying, if you're on Noom and you're in our group, find other new people on there and help each other out. This is what it's about. It's about all of us helping each other get better and make the healthier choices.
You know about, and the more journeys you experience, the more diversity. Like I know it sounds funny, but not only diversity in people that you surround yourself with, and diversity in things other people do around you. Because if you're only with the same people all the time, there's nothing wrong with that, but your growth you don't grow in the same way. But when you get influenced by external thoughts and ideas, that's when you really start thinking and questioning things and saying, you know what, maybe I can do something a little bit different. Maybe I do need a little boost or a kick. So
I think, guys, if what you guys want to join Susan's meetings, what I'll do is after this session, I'll go in our group, I'll post a post and I'll tag Susan on it saying, if you want to attend Susan's meetings, get in touch with her below, and then she'll be able to message you, and you guys will figure out how to join. I don't want to share her email on all these emails online, so we'll find a way to get you guys information to join her sessions. Okay, we'll figure that out.
You know what? If you're going to do that on Facebook, right? Is that what you're going to do? Okay, just you guys. Here's what you do: you just private message me on Facebook with your email address. That's all you got to do, and I will add you to my email list. Because
so I'll make that happen. Yeah. I'll make that happen.
Like, for example, today I just sent out, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but I just sent out the link for, because we are very busy being in Washington, D.C. We are touring. I'm going to need a vacation from this because there's so much to do here that the next meeting I'm having is on Friday at 3:00 my time. And, which that's what's going to work. And I'm hoping, whoever shows up. So there you go.
And you know what, though? I like that I love the flexibility that you're doing too. And I love that you're making it work for you and saying, you come join me if you're available. I think that's also really love, because
that's kind of what, that's kind of what we're going to be doing in the fall. That's one of the things.
Actually, something we've been talking about.
Switching our days.
We're taking our summer off. We mentioned that a couple weeks ago that we are taking the summer off just because so much is going on, and we've been nonstop. We think we really need to.
We've been doing our Sunday shows nonstop for almost a year and a half now. We've missed 2 Sundays ever. One because we were sick and one because we were traveling. And that's the only Sundays we've missed in the last 2 years since COVID hit. And so we realized we need time off.
There was times where it was crunch, where we felt bad if we weren't going to get here on time. And we rushed home. And not that we don't love doing it, because we do.
Of course.
But then we said, let's take a break. Let's give ourselves the summer to take a break, and let's revamp it in the fall. And we actually, and I'm going to be very honest. Can I just be very honest right now? We actually almost said we are no longer going to be doing our Sunday night shows in the fall. We almost did. We literally had talked about it. We had looked at each other and said no. And the
next
morning, we get one of the most beautiful emails from someone who follows us, but silently. They emailed us about the work, the newsletter. They emailed us about our Sunday night shows, and it made us realize we can't not do these.
We just have to change it so it works for us better. Works better for us.
And it's so funny that we feel guilty about doing that stuff, right? Like, so I'm sure, like you said, when you left WW, there was that guilt of, oh my goodness, I'm gonna let people down. But then how am I making it? If I'm letting all these people down, I'm letting myself down for not being true.
How did that go? How did that work for you? Like, how did you?
Well, and that was a big, thank you for asking that. Cause I have to tell you, for those people, I see some of my members on here. It was one of the hardest things. Selling my house and selling everything was nothing compared to me telling everyone I was going to have to go. Right. So when I made the decision to do this, it was very clear to me I wanted to do it, but it was very clear to me I didn't want to resent doing it. Meaning, for example, we were at the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, the hot air balloon fiesta. I could not have a meeting that week because I was so busy, and I was okay with that because I said to everyone, look, I can't have a meeting. First of all, I don't have Wi-Fi. I will see you in another week. At first, I felt a little guilty about it. And then I said, you know what? I can't feel that way because, first of all, I'm with my husband. This is an adventure. I need to put ourselves first. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, I knew it was just for the week.
Yes.
Right? So get that guilt away and know that, oh, I'm back. I'm going to be back. Don't worry. And there was a time that it was 2 weeks. I couldn't because I had no Wi-Fi. It was really bad. But I also knew that, I don't want to resent doing this.
Exactly. Yes.
I want to do it because I love it. I love everybody who comes on, but I don't want to wake up in the morning and go, oh crap, I've got to do a Zoom meeting today.
And that's the same struggle we've had sometimes. Where some Sundays where we're driving back from a long weekend and we're tired, we're exhausted. It's like, oh my God, I wish we didn't have our show tonight. But sometimes it's like, it's just we couldn't do that because we felt guilty. But now we're saying, okay, we have to find a way to make it work for us. So maybe instead of a Sunday show that week, we'll have a Wednesday show. Like we'll tweak it up. We'll change it up just exactly like you're doing.
But and you know what? They will come.
And isn't it funny?
So.
I don't know if you were listening to what Susan was saying, all the words she was talking about, every single thing. I don't want to resent anything. If I was, if it was just once, if it was twice if it was only 1 week, if it was 2 weeks, it's funny how all of those things we talk about when we're on our journey, but yet this is a different type of journey. This is her accountability part of the journey, but this still the same guilt. Oh, well, I just had a piece of cake today, or, oh, it was just a bad day this week, or I fell off for 2 weeks. But you always come back. And it's the same thing, that same mentality with this. If I take 2 weeks off of, not having a meeting with my accountability, I can still get those meetings back because all I need to do is send another email and invite people back, and people will come back again.
And, it's really interesting. And I need to be, as like you, very honest. I have to have this accountability because I know
we do too.
I can go off the rails, especially living this lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's very easy to go off the rails.
That's actually one of the questions I was going to ask you. Like you're talking about, going from town to town and wanting to try the foods. And that was something you're struggling with. How are you managing that?
That's a really, really good question. So thank goodness I have a wonderful kitchen because I will be brutally honest. My whole thing is if I know that we're going out for dinner or lunch, I will make sure I eat low point or just healthier foods, whatever your program is, for breakfast and the other meal, right?
Yep.
I always make sure that I enjoy every freaking mouthful, regardless of what it is. And I go a lot about from what you guys said. Every day is a Monday. I love that. It stuck with me. Every day is a Monday. And if you can do, and this is another thing that you guys really instilled in me, which I really appreciate. If you can do 80%, you're doing better than you've ever done in the past. So I give up that guilt and enjoy a French fry here and there, or more than a. And I enjoy the area that we're in. And a lot of times Jerry and I will share.
Yes,
because he trust me, he's with me on this eating.
I love that. I love the partnership that you both have with each other.
And I also like this. What you said there is I enjoy the area I'm in because guess what, everybody. Food and culture and it is so intertwined. So if you want to immerse yourself and you're living in a different place all the time, but you're like, oh, well, I'm going to have my salad and my tomatoes today while somebody else is enjoying something that's culturally prepared in that area or something that's well known for, you're depriving yourself.
It's another reason why we allow ourselves a little more leeway on vacations and times that we're away, because we know we're not always going to be there. It doesn't mean that the entire time we're there. And that's what Susan's saying right now. She's not saying that every meal she's having out and eating everything inside. She's saying she's choosing her meals carefully, and then she's also doing the best she can at home in her RV, making meals that are healthy for her. And that's the trick, and that's the thing that a lot of us don't grasp a lot on these journeys. That was the thing that was always lost to us. Because for us, it was like, oh, if I'm not eating salad all the time, I'm not going to lose weight. So I might as well just eat all the pizza and all the carbs I want because I'm not going to lose weight anyways.
One day I'll only be able. I'll force myself only to eat salads and I'll never have pizza and carbs again.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, that's the mentality a lot of us have. But what you're doing is amazing because you're still enjoying yourself, living life, which was what we need to do. We're here to live life. But you're also cognizant that I'm trying to be healthy. I'm trying to be the best I can for myself as well.
We are really go for it, Susan.
Oh, no, I was looking at some of the questions, but just to continue on real quick with the food thing, I do a lot of Instapot. I do a lot of air fry. I have a convection oven in here. I have a full stove, 4-burner, and an oven. Trust me, it's a big kitchen. And I know.
Are we going to have dinner?
I was going to say,
are we going to have dinner?
Fly down to wherever you're
Are you going to Buffalo or near there anytime soon?
Let us know when you're in New York.
I know. Like, for example, today we took the train into DC, and I wanted to go to Chinatown because I wanted Chinese food badly. And I had a hard-boiled egg for breakfast and a banana. and we went for lunch in Chinatown, and I enjoyed every freaking mouthful. Came home and I said to Jerry, okay, we have leftovers. You can eat them. I'm making some chicken. And we roasted some chicken and some veggies and that kind of thing. But it makes, trust me, everybody, I have to consciously do this, right? Because even though I have maintained, even on this journey, it is still, let's get real, you guys know this, it's a struggle every day, right? And especially when you want to go somewhere fun and eat something good. And, going into a restaurant can be challenging. We all know that, but you still have a voice to say, I want it this way, this way, this way. I always order first before Jerry. He knows better. I always order first, or he'll let me order and I'll say, we're going to share this. And it makes a big difference, and I want to say too, it's not, every place we go is not about the food.
Right.
But it's not just like yesterday we were in Gettysburg, we were doing the Smithsonian, and someone asked, other than trying food, for example, are you trying to visit all or most of the national parks? Our rig is 42 feet. It does not fit in the national parks. So our goal is to park outside the national parks and take day trips in. So we are going to Arcadia National Park in Maine in September. So we're doing that. So
someone also asked, I'm assuming you have a vehicle with you guys then that you can drive.
We have a fifth wheel.
It's a
fifth wheel. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so you can
so
drive.
we have our big
Truck
that we tow this puppy. Well, I don't tow it, Jerry does it.
So you don't do any of the driving then? You're like, no, I'm a princess.
She's on her phone. She's checking her messages.
I'm a navigator. I navigate. This thing, you guys.
It's huge.
The truck is 9 feet.
Yeah, that's long. That's the scary part.
Yeah,
that's where I would have a problem. I can't drive that. I will not even attempt
more
it.
Than 9 feet. Wait, I lied. It's 20.
Anybody want to be our driver?
I lied. The total length is close to 70 feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny. My parents owned an RV and it was a C-class RV. So it was the bus style. So a C-class RV, and we had it for years. It was 32 feet and I drove it a few times.
Good for you.
Oh, I was 18. I was 19, 20, I would say 18, 19 or 20. And I drove
it. It was 1920.
No,
like, that's a long time ago.
I was that age. And they made me drive it in Quebec once. Whoa, the narrow roads were not fun with a 32-foot RV. And how so I bow down to your husband to being able to maneuver that in cities and on streets and parking it in parks. But I did have another scale. I let the cat out of the bag. I was going to ask you about your scale. Yeah. Do you have one in the RV?
I have to, yeah.
Do you weigh once a week still? Is that how you do it? Okay. I was curious. I was like, how do you do it?
Yeah, I weigh on Fridays. But I'm kind of looking at what you guys are doing because I really hate that damn thing. I do. Let's get real. We've been doing this for years.
Yep.
Years. We all know when we don't feel our best, right?
Yep.
Your clothes, whatever. But I do because I'm accountable to a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not just the Zoom meetings. I'm accountable, with some private people and
definitely.
But I don't like it. I don't like weighing. I hate it because I know the minute I get on the scale if I'm gonna be the same, if I have lost a little bit or if I gain, because you can feel it.
Yeah.
Right? Your clothes and all that. So yes, I do have.
I can feel it right now. I can tell. I can feel it.
Why do you think we've been wearing sweaters for the last couple of weeks? Why do you think
sweaters have been back in style for a few weeks?
And it's so funny that we think, because we're gaining a little bit, if we put a sweater, no one will notice. Right? But it's a little bit sausagier than it normally is. You're like, but no one will notice that.
But that's just, you know what? It's like we said earlier, it's sometimes it's time to live life. Sometimes it's time to be really focused. But it's also not the time to ever always throw in the towel. I think that's the difference. I don't think
there's never a time to throw in the towel.
No, but I mean, there used to be.
Yeah.
Well, there used to be a throw in the towel time where it was like, oh, screw this. I'm not doing this anymore. And I'm not even going to try. Whereas I'm sure you've had those situations as well, Susan, that in the past where you just given up. Whereas now the person you are today, back like 20 years, 30 years ago, the person who used to give up in this lifestyle, would be like, screw it. I'm just doing whatever I want now. I'm not even going to bother. But you're still, even though you're allowing yourself to indulge, you're still trying to do the best you can all the time. And I think that's the awesome thing to do.
Well, here's the thing, let's get real. We've talked about this ad nauseum. We've all done this numerous times. We've all done whatever program you're doing, how many times, and we all know that diets work. Every diet works. It's not about the taking it off. It's about the keeping it off. And it's all about here and knowing that if I have an off day, it doesn't mean that I've gone to hell in a handbasket. It just means I've had an off day.
Exactly.
I'm going to get back up. Right. I mean, listen, I'm older. And hopefully a little wiser.
That's fabulous. I wouldn't think you're older at all.
Yeah. I have a big birthday coming up here. And I will tell you that giving up is not in my realm anymore. I mean, I can't, first of all, as I've gotten older, I can't eat the way I used to eat because it makes me sick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm physically sick.
Yep.
It just does. I mean, let's get real, you guys. If you just eat a lot of sugar one day, a ton of sugar, I don't know about you, but it gives me.
That was me last night.
It gives me indigestion. Did it give you indigestion?
Oh my God. My stomach yes. My stomach is still not super happy with me right now, but
yeah, I get it, but you enjoyed it. And see, there's the difference. If you're going to eat something, and this has been my mantra, enjoy the heck out of it. Enjoy every bite. Do not feel guilty. It's over.
Yeah.
Move on. It's not what you did. It's what you do
after. Yeah.
And that's the big deal. So giving up is not an issue for me. It's not. I will not. It's how long it takes to get back to it, right? No, whatever it takes, but you're going to. That's the big difference. You're not going to throw it in and say, to hell with this, I'm not doing this anymore. You're not going to do that. You're just not.
And I also think for you too, though, you've made a lifestyle for yourself that you enjoy. Mm-hmm. So your meals you've created, the lifestyle you do, your travel, everything you've created for yourself, you enjoy. So it's no longer a reason of falling off because your life is on. Like that's your life.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You've made it so part of your habits that now it would be weird not to follow these habits.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Nick, because one of the things we always talk about, right, is the habits that we build and how to get rid of some of the bad habits that we've had all our life. Well, I've come to the conclusion that a lot of the bad habits that I've had are never going to go away. They're just not, because it's just how I was raised. It's part of me. It's what I do with those habits, right? I have this great story that just happened to me, and a lot of people who are on here will hear it again. But I am not a sweet eater at all. It's not my thing. My husband is. It's not my thing, but I am.
Susan and I are in the same same place. Yes, the cheese and the chips and the crackers.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can make a whole meal out of chips and salsa and a margarita.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Well, me and you could do the margaritas any day.
Okay. And you and Jerry could eat all the sweets. So my favorite growing up was Lay's barbecue potato chips. And as a kid, I remember it wasn't the small bags, it was the big bags. That was one serving for me, right?
Wow.
The big bags. So I hadn't had Lay's barbecue potato chips, and I don't know how long. Doesn't mean I haven't had other chips, but Lay's I know would trigger the heck out of me. So I haven't had them in a very long time. We were sitting in the lobby getting some work done on the RV a few weeks ago in Indiana. And the lobby had, it was a lovely place for us to sit, and they had all kinds of stuff out. There was one small bag of barbecue potato chips. And it was one small bag. And I'm going, are you trying to do, I'm going, what are you doing? Susan! I was waiting for someone to get it, right? I was waiting for someone. 2 days later,
it's still there.
The bag was still there. And I sat there and I went, okay, I'm going for it. I had a light breakfast. We were waiting for, I had a sandwich wrapped in lettuce coming. So there was no bread, right? I mean, I had ordered that. And I went, there's a reason this bag of chips is here. I'm rationalizing, right?
No, but it's true. It's true. It's the one bag for 2 days. Like even delayed it.
It's one of the 5 Ds.
I grabbed it, I started eating it, and I went, oh my God, this is not nearly as good as it used to be.
They changed the recipe.
I think they absolutely
did.
They did.
They did.
I'm so glad because I finished the bag because hello.
It was chips.
It was open.
It's chips, right? I get it. I get it. I don't care what flavor. Unless it's
those damn things away. Crunch.
Like I'll even eat salt and vinegar chips, and I don't like them, and I'll still eat them because they're chips.
I finished them, and I sat there, and I didn't tell Jerry because he was looking at the rig or he was doing whatever. I didn't tell him for a whole day that I ate them because I don't need to be accountable to him. But right. I finally confessed my sins to him, and I looked at him and I said, they were not very good. And if I never have another bag of Lay's barbecue potato chips again, I'm going to be okay. How bizarre was that? So I really sat back and really analyzed that whole experience going, they were there for a reason.
Yep.
One bag
for
2 days. And I said, I am so glad I ate them. I am so glad I counted them. I am so glad that I thought I was going to enjoy them and I didn't enjoy them as much as I wanted to, and I will not have to have them again. Huge.
Yeah, that's
a huge deal for me.
It's an amazing, that's a non-scale victory right there. Because
and you said
going back to something that's your trigger food, like we all have those triggers. For me, it would be having peanut butter back in the house. Right. That would be something for me. If I could ever do that, we can have almond butter.
And he doesn't eat it by the spoonful.
Peanut butter everywhere in his mom's, half a jar.
Oh yeah, there was spoons in the sink that I didn't even know he was having them, and he didn't even offer. Like, he could have offered me a spoonful of peanut butter.
Peanut butter thief.
You know what? And I didn't even eat one spoonful of peanut butter this weekend.
So that was
I'm
all
proud of myself. So it was all Nick.
Good for you.
But
good for you.
One thing you said, Susan, and I think this is something, I can't believe what time it is. I know we could talk for hours, and we knew that this is going to happen. I knew this. We might just have to have you come back at some point, definitely. But there's something that you said, and I really think it's a really cool thing that you said. And you talked about, you said, I don't believe old habits really ever go away.
Correct.
But you get to control those old habits.
And you build new habits.
And you get to shrinking the old habits and create new habits. Exactly. And the new habits take over eventually.
Doesn't mean you can't revert back.
Habits can't ever come back because those are still
They're still there. They're still there.
But knowing that, you know what? Who has the power? Who has the control out of everything we do, we say,
that
we
one
eat?
bag of potato
Not
chips.
He-Man. Okay,
no, that
She-Ra.
one bag of potato chips has the power.
Well, you know what? My mom always said this as well. If it's there the next day, or if it's there next time we go, it's yours. That was my mom's motto when we were buying myself gifts as a child. So when you said that bag of chips was there for 2 days, and the fact that you held off 2 days before you said, you know what? No one else is going to be eating it. I need, and I think what it was, though, I think it goes to show you that you are stronger than what you think you are.
Yeah. Well, that was a big deal because normally, and we talking about habits, let's get real. There's certain things in life for me. I'm stressed, I eat. I don't know how many of you do that. I'm sad, I eat. Right? When I'm happy, I eat. But you know when
I'm sick, I eat. Okay. I have a sore stomach, I eat.
So those habits are something that's still ingrained in you, right?
Yeah.
It's exactly what you said. It's what you do and how you handle them that makes the difference. And it's okay to go off the craziness on occasion. But again, I can't stress this enough. It's stopping and moving on. Yeah. That's the big deal.
There was a lady who posted in our group today, and it was a really great thing. And she talked about a WW coach had mentioned an analogy of the journey is like a game of snakes and ladders, where sometimes you climb up the ladder, but sometimes you fall down the snake. But you never end up being
at the first position.
You never get back to that top position.
You're always moving ahead.
You're always moving forward. You might climb back up,
but you're never back at the beginning.
You're never back at the bottom. You're always going forward.
You're always going forward.
I love that. I think that's so true.
And it's such a great analogy because you never get back to the very start. You always
learn something,
new information. Yeah. You always grasp onto certain portions of that of what you're supposed to learn from that moment.
And I think that if we take that, I love that, you guys, because if we take that with everything we do, that there's always something to learn from it. It's amazing how much more successful we'll be. Instead of throwing in the towel and going, well, I screwed this up, I might as well eat everything in sight, right?
Yep.
You stop and step back and you say, you know what? It's okay. And my big thing too with everybody is that if we don't start being more kind to ourselves, because I have the saying that if we treated our friends the way we treat ourselves, we wouldn't have friends.
Nope.
I know we wouldn't. We'd have a lot of enemies.
We're so hard on ourselves.
Yeah, we are.
Right? And it's okay to enjoy food. It is okay not to eat your kale if you don't like kale, which I know Nick does not like kale. Right? It's okay not to eat the things that we think are healthy, and that's all we want to eat. Because here's the thing that I think is really important too, is if I had not eaten those barbecue potato chips, I know I probably would have spiraled and eaten
something else.
Definitely.
Gone to the something
and it wouldn't have been the small bag.
No, and probably have eaten everything around it. And
there's a bag of ketchup chips behind the scenes over here. So,
but there's and thank you so much, Susan, for being here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
And there's one thing that you said, and I want to say, and I think this is a really cool thing to maybe end this on tonight, is you said, you know what? It'll be okay. But I want everyone to change that to it will be okay to I will be okay. It's about you. It's not about the situation. You ate it. You're still going to be okay the next time you make a different decision, because guess what? It's the decision you made at that moment. Think of the next choice you're going to make after that moment. That's what you need to focus on.
Absolutely.
So I will make sure everybody who wants to join Susan's meetings, I will do a post in the Facebook group, our group. I'll tag Susan, so you can comment below if you want to join, and that will be a way for you guys to start communicating with each other, and then we'll get you guys the information to join her sessions. Actually, I could probably just share actually, we'll figure it out. We'll talk to Susan a way to get that information out there.
Whatever you need to do, just make sure that, just have people PM me. That's perfect.
Awesome. Excellent. Awesome. Thank you so much, Susan.
Thank you. It's so fun. I love you guys. And
love you too.
Let's keep in touch.
Yes.
We'll be in touch.
We'll talk. We'll chat.
All right.
Bye.
Guys.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed this chat with Susan tonight. We absolutely adore this lady. She's just, I don't know, there's something about her that just touches our heart. And the way she speaks about the journey is very similar to what we saw the journey as being all about. And so I love the fact that she's taken her dream and she's living out her dream of living in an RV with her husband. I think this is fantastic. And I think all of you need to take that into account. Make sure you're living your dream.
And we also had a chat on YouTube. 2 people say, yes, please, Susan, come back. This was amazing tonight. So, Susan, you already have some fans out there who want to come back and see you on our show. So that's going to be great. And it was an amazing chat. Awesome. We could have talked for another hour. That's how great it was.
We could have just sat here and let Sue talk.
And Susan was kind of hinting at things. So yes, there is a P3 experience group on Facebook. There's something happening soon in that group in 9 days.
There's an announcement
happening only in that group. We won't even be talking about it on here. So if you want to know what it's about, just go in our Facebook group. We can share you the information. Send us a message. Look for P3 Experience Mind, Body, and Soul on Facebook to join that group. Next week, we have a special guest.
We have Paul and Nisha. I said it the right way this time, Paul. Nisha was second. You're first. Paul and Nisha will be in-house with us next week. And Paul recently became a life coach. He's absolutely amazing gentleman. And he actually is blind as well. And so we want to talk to him about his journey of, losing his sight, now starting a new venture as becoming a life coach. So we'll be talking to him and Nisha next week. We also have a very special guest on April 24th, which is our lovely Tracy, who does Kangaroo Kicks. She's a nurse, a registered nurse. She's a cancer survivor. Yeah, she's absolute amazing individual. I like a life coach as well herself. Yes.
On May 1st, there's no show. We're taking taking a day off technically, but not really. But
it's the beginning of something else.
And then on May 8th, we'll have special guest Lindy Salucci. So Lindy was
famous.
People Magazine. She was just on People Magazine recently this month. She's been on it 3 times. She's lost over 100 pounds. So she'll be here on May 8th sharing her story.
140.
Yeah, something like that. It's her before pictures are amazing. Then on May 15th, we have Tia, one of our steppers and one of our bloggers.
Yes, one of our new bloggers.
Yeah, so she'll be coming on May 15th sharing her story about mental health.
And then on May 22nd, we have Dr. George and Vanessa Naum. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Naum. Correctly.
And they are a couples coaches.
Yes.
They coach married couples. And they've also, if I'm not mistaken, Vanessa is a WW member as well.
Correctly.
So awesome. It'll be very fun to speak with Vanessa and her husband and Dr. George.
And then we have on May 29th, our very own Terry Lynn Bonhert joining us, sharing her story and her pictures. Oh my God.
Again. Wow.
We'd seen them before.
Yeah, I know, but every time I see them, I'm like, who are you, lady?
Insane.
That's not you. I know Terry. I know teeny petite little Terry. Like, it's everything starts with a T with her.
And then after that will be the beginning of our summer break.
Yes.
And so like we said earlier, we are taking the summer off. We will be back in the fall. And in the fall, we will be doing something different. It probably won't be every Sunday. It'll be different days.
But so you'll know ahead of time.
You'll know ahead of time. That's why we have a newsletter. That's why we're getting all this set up, because things are going to be more newsletter based. You guys will get to know what things are happening. There's live stuff in person happening soon, maybe in Windsor or Sudbury, Ontario.
Outdoors.
So we're already planning some stuff. So keep on the lookout on your newsletters on jeanlucandnick.com. And we thank Susan again for joining us tonight, and all of you,
every single one of you, for being here tonight and being part of this amazing community. I just wanted to
one last drink of water.
Because we know what community does for us, right? Yeah. Community allows us to be ourselves.
It's all about the we.
And it's all about the we. It's all about the we, because that's what it's all about. We are stronger together. We are better together. We're smarter together. And we're happier together.
Yeah.
We are much happier together. So never forget that. And we love every single one of you.
Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.